believe it is. I don't believe the Senate is going to pass this bill because they know it's wrong to spend $4 million up there on an institution that was not needed in the first place, when that money can more economically be spent to service the students in the existing colleges. The colleges like SMU and TCU, the colleges like North Texas, the University of Texas Arlington, colleges like TWU and Denver. They know that. They know that full well. 41 students, 52 faculty members, $4 million in the appropriation. $4.5 million. I don't think this Senate is going to pass that bill, creating that institution as a 4-year institution. I think we've convinced them. I hope we've convinced them, Senator, because we've talked here long and hard enough. And Senator, we're going to talk a little bit longer, a good deal longer, I think, to convince them. There are facts to be brought out. There are facts to be brought out. There are more facts to be brought out. But I think we've got the attention, and with just a little more time, and a little more effort, a little more education, a little more talk, this Senate is going to rebel, and it's going to turn on that group, and it's going to kill this bill, and it's going to try to place that money in these existing institutions that need the money so badly to meet the needs of those students who are already in those institutions.
I know that you must have been in the pits at least 5 times throughout the afternoon. In one stretch, it seemed like it was about a 45-minute stop for you.
Yes, it was quite lengthy, and we changed many things on the car, went out, tried it, and it didn't seem to cure the problem. We finally changed a battery in the car, and it cured the problem to a certain degree, but it still was there. We could run quick enough to keep the pace, but we couldn't race anybody really. The few of the slower cars we could run with and pass, and but I was trying to stay out of the way because I'd lost a great number of laps and didn't want to get in anybody's way that was racing for a good position up front, and we just did what we could do, and that was it.
Kind of a hard luck 2 years in a row, really.
Yes, it's been actually 8 years in a row now. I've been here, and 9 has been my lucky number. That was the number on the sprint car I drove to the national sprint car title. Maybe next year.
You're going to stay in here until you get 5,000?
I'm going to be in this cage. We got a lot of rain the last couple of days. I don't know why the rain comes now. We need the rain, of course, but...
Makes it nice for your waterbed,
yeah, we've been in here a while. We started Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, and we've been going strong ever since.
How's your home life?
Well, I don't have too much home life at the moment. I think that I might be in trouble at home.
Well, I think the major thing that's been accomplished is that the session is drawing to a close, and that apparently we're going to get the work done without a special session, which everybody thought was impossible when it started. Of course, I had some disappointments. I was very disappointed that the utilities bill didn't pass, and I was, of course, disappointed in the fact that I considered the tax bill to be very overloaded on the consumer, and once again, we did not pass a fair corporate profits tax.
But what are the things that have been accomplished that are for the good of the state?
Well, the basic thing is, of course, that we have a good appropriations bill, and I just can't think of anything else right now.
Senator Harris, what do you feel have been the major accomplishments of this legislative session, or have there been any?
I'm afraid there haven't been any real significant accomplishments by this session of the legislature. A good many things were left undone, constitutional revision being one of them. One of the things we're wrestling with right now is redistricting, and we've waited, I think, far too late in the session because we have a crash program to redistrict. The Senate passed congressional redistricting night before last, which was unsatisfactory in my judgment. We have still yet to touch upon House and Senate redistricting, and by the Constitution, we must adjourn by Monday at midnight. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to accomplish all that needs to be this session, and I'm afraid that we're going to be forced into a special session.
Parker, has this been a productive session in your opinion?
Well, it's produced lots of controversy and lots of legislation. It's been productive in that sense. It's a little early to tell whether or not it's going to be the production of the kind I like or not.
I don't think there's a split in sight. In fact, it was reassuring to me that the chief of police stated that he is against lowering our standards in any way, and this is exactly what I'm in favor of, not lowering our standards.
What specifically didn't you like about the city council action that took place?
Well, a group of militants went before the city council the other day and demanded that our entrance exam be lowered. Now, then this is what I took exception to. I don't think that our city council or our police department should be dictated to by any group of militants.
What about this reevaluation of the tests themselves? The chief said that he thought that possibly with our current testing procedures that we may have been overlooking some very good men that could be useful to the Dallas police force. Would you have any objections to a reevaluation of the tests?
No, I have no objection at all. The only objection I had was to the demands that this test be lowered. If this test does not adequately test the person for the job of police officer, certainly it should be reevaluated and the type of test that is needed be implemented. But I don't think that we should just lower the test in order to get more applicants. I would like to clarify right now the position of the Dallas Police Association. We are not prejudiced against any minority group or any race. We are glad to see the blacks and the Mexican Americans become police officers. We encourage them. In fact, I have many friends down there who are blacks and Mexican Americans. But we do not feel like that this militant group should go before our city council and dictate to us the type of exam we should give for entrance exam for the Dallas Police Department.
Lindsay, or Mayor Stokes, or Mayor Lugar, and by the way, I'm hitting the liberal-conservative spectrum there. Anytime they come up with new and innovative suggestions, I think that's what these conferences are for, and unless the mayors do this, the conferences are going to be no good.
Is there any validity to the observation under Mayor Lindsay's proposal for chartered cities, that some cities in America have more people than some states, and that the things that they are concerned with sometimes are more locally oriented, that there may be some wisdom in chartering those cities with great numbers of people?
Yes, there's some validity in that, and of course, Dallas is one of those cities that is more populous than some states. I think it remains to be seen just how responsive the federal government is going to be to the city's problems. But by the same token, the states have to be responsive to the city's problems too. And I was quite disturbed a couple of weeks ago, as you know, because we discussed it with Channel 8. I was quite disturbed about the state government's lack of responsiveness to our pleas on the liquor by the drink tax. We better get responsiveness from all areas of government, or we're going to have to move to something as drastic as what Mayor Lindsay suggested.
What about the proposal by Mayor Stokes on the federal subsidizing of housing projects?
I think that really reeks of socialism, and I'm against socialism. I believe we have the best form of government anywhere in the world here, and most of the countries who were represented at this international conference would agree with me on that. I think this just smacked too much of socialism. I would not be in favor of it.
The festive mood of a Sunday morning brunch and the fact that the last day of the session is a holiday really doesn't mean a thing, because these legislators know they still have a number of decisions facing them, and they have a very grueling night tonight and a long day and night tomorrow before they're finished. This is Roger McDonald, Channel 8 News on the Move in Austin. This time you're not impressed with what has been accomplished.
No, I didn't like the tax bill, although we got one passed. I'm not too happy with the redistricting plan, because I think at least the House redistricting plan, I believe, will be thrown out by federal court.
Even though there's only about 30 hours left in this legislative session, and even though a filibuster continues in the Texas Senate chamber, some members of the House and Senate were able to take time out to come over and have a little socializing with each other, a little relaxation here in the midst of what have been very busy and very pressing days. And even in the context of a brunch, a Sunday morning brunch, these legislators have taken time out to analyze what has been accomplished or what has not been accomplished during this legislative session. Specifically, we talked with Senator Charles Wilson, with Senator Ike Harris, and with Representative Carl Parker.